Hello, everyone. Excited to have Nicole with us today. We are talking about something that every leader will face at some point, and that is the idea of failure. It happens to us all, but it's really how we take that and turn it into a growing moment. So, Nicole, can you share a time that you experienced a leadership failure and how you learned from that opportunity?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I'm really big on is self-reflection and kind of self-awareness of things. So in my journey, I think the biggest lesson that I learned was that the value that you bring to one environment is not necessarily the same value that you bring to another. And so early in my leadership journey, I had just finished my master's degree and I was looking to do kind of a shift in careers. And I was in sales, and I am not a person who loves the sales environment. I smile a lot and I'm friendly. So I do really well in sales. But it's never the competitive environment in sales didn't really work for me. And so I come from a long line of women who are teachers and trainers and educators of some sort. So I decided, why don't I take my knowledge of being a good salesperson and kind of train up the next batch of salespeople? So I decided I want to be a sales trainer. So I pursued a master's in adult training and education. And shortly before I finished, my company announced that they were going into a venture called the National Centers of Excellence, meaning they would have agents taking on calls from across the country versus just one region, and they needed trainers. So felt like perfect timing for me. And so I applied and I got the job and I relocated to do it. And I was really excited. But shortly after I got there, I learned that that center was hiring agents for not just sales, but also billing and technical support and all these things that I had no experience in. And so I was on a team of 4 trainers, 2 sales trainers, but the only one who had no experience in anything but sales. Needless to say, my value add to the team diminished a little bit. If there was a sales class, I was great. But anything other than sales, other people had to train. And so as time went on and the need for sales classes diminished, it ultimately led to me being laid off because I had no other asset to the team. And so what it taught me was the importance of adaptability. I had gone into this really excited. And so the lesson that I took out of it was learning how to adapt. So now, any environment I go into, I'm analyzing and assessing the space, saying, what does this space need and what can I add to it? And if I don't have the tools, if it's a space I want to be in and I don't have the tools or the resources to add to it, how can I get them? Because, I probably could have learned a little bit about the other departments and kind of added some value to that. Hindsight is 2020. But I think learning that lesson and having that failure early on in my leadership journey allowed me to have something in my toolkit going forward. So I can say, now that I'm in a new space, what does this space need and how can I contribute to it?
Thank you for being so vulnerable to share that. But, part of what you said really resonated with me of looking at what the organization needs and looking at what skills I have and where is that intersection. I don't know that we always do that well enough. We sometimes go in with our own ideas, or sometimes the
Yeah.
organization has ideas, but we don't, as leaders, always sit down as we're working with our employees and say, okay, what goals do you have? Where do you want to be? And how can we use the tools and the resources here to create that intersection
Yeah.
so that you're learning a skill set that's going to help you, it's going to help the organization, and it creates that win for everyone. So
Yeah.
thank you for seeing that early in your career
Yeah.
and sharing that for the rest of our viewers. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thanks to Nicole for hopping on. Have a great day, everybody.